Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel and more Blood and Plunder here as we take a look at more of the French that we have not covered yet. And today we're taking a look at Jean Bernard Desjeans. Another interesting one here, really cool backstory on him, but let's dig into what we're really looking for on this. So 27 pointer does have an option for a horse as well, so keep that in mind. Can specifically lead the French Expeditionary Force, has the good selection of weapons there, either the brace or musket, and then with the standard melee weapon. For 27 points, you're getting the fantastic command range of 16. We don't see that all the time, usually into some of the super high-end characters. So the fact that we got it here and the 3 command points is already pretty special in and of itself. We can do a lot of good stuff with just that and not even really worry about special rules. We'll come to those actually in a second. We're going to go down a little bit more. So he's got two... first of all, only 2 special rules for him, unlike a lot of the other characters that you typically see with more. But then 2 sort of other things going on with him that we do need to make sure that we talk about here. So first of all is mutual hatred. The commander cannot give command points to flibustiers, les enfants perdus, and boucaniers. So just can't do it. So something you may want to then consider when you're building your force, and maybe, well, they're certainly good units, right? So we don't want to like give up on some of our just good French units that we have, but just that'll obviously play a factor in how you approach your list building and where you choose to put the commander as well. So with that being said, also unorthodox force. This force treats all support units as core units, but may not include the following: milice canadienne, milice à cheval, or coureur de bois. So you don't get those at all. But a neat thing here, right? So basically all support units are core, so we just have a ton of core units to choose from. So again, plan accordingly with that. And that's just one of the other just neat things with Blood and Plunder. We've got all these different factions, all these different forces, which all have a lot of variations to them, and then a lot of times the commanders will add their own little twists on things too. So really, there's just so many choices in the game. So really, you should never get bored with any of the factions you play, just because there's just so many different choices. Really, just endless possibilities. But let's get back then to his 2 special rules: high standing and careful planning. We'll take a look at careful planning first. So we don't see that one all that often. So basically, one enemy force must deploy half their units rounded down before your force deploys any. So pretty neat. Really has a neat effect too, I guess, in multiplayer games, right? You can force one of the, let's say we're playing like 2-on-2, one of the opponents has to deploy their whole force before either of you guys deploy yours. So just a lot of neat things there. But in a one-off, that's also pretty cool, seeing what they're bringing and how they're going to deploy for the scenario in hand. So it's not necessarily game breaking, but just gives you valuable intel. Now the other one, which we have seen a couple times, maybe that kind of also ties in with the mutual hatred one, is high standing. So basically, it says due to physical limitations and experience, arrogance, whatever it might be, basically he does not participate in acts of subterfuge. So basically, when this character is attached to a unit with elusive, quick, scout, skirmisher, or hidden, that unit loses those special rules for as long as the commander is attached. So again, it's just something to plan for, right? You've got the units that you do for your force and the ones that you're not even allowed to bring. But so just keep that in mind where you're going to put him. Is it worth that unit losing that special ability? So just, again, plan accordingly in what you really want to accomplish with him, and then also, with whatever the expeditionary force will do in and of itself, right? Now, obviously, there's the mutual hatred thing as well, so maybe sticking him in those above units is not the best idea, but they're, on the other hand, though, they're also some of the best units that the French have, so it's just an interesting set of choices that is really required to run him. We have an absence of a lot of the other normal rules that we would see, right? Obviously, him not having inspiring makes perfect sense, but we're faced here with a rare commander where we don't have some combination of a lot of the typical rules that we have, and actually really we're left with those 2, but he does have some really good stats, and we're clocking in at under 30 points, so that has to count for something. And then just the fact that we basically swap all the support units into core, so really we have plenty of choices in how we construct the force. It's just a lot of the force doesn't get along with him, and his rules reflect that too. So let us know, guys, how you have feel Jean Bernard Desjeans. How has that gone for you? Do you even bother with this guy? Do his stats outweigh the sort of downsides of maybe his special rules here? Although with unorthodox forces are kind of cool too, though, again, with some downsides as well. Hit us up in the comments, guys. Like and subscribe, and we'll have more Blood and Plunder for you soon. Thanks for watching.